Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor, helping you raise your vibration so you can live your best life. Let's talk today about protection. As I am recording this, this is the middle of October. October has usually been a challenging month for me, although I have high expectations every year. This one proves to be the same. The veil is thin and many things come through, both good and not so great. So understanding protection is a really critical skill to have at this time of year. And so I wanted to share some tips and tricks with you on how I go about not just cleansing my energy, which I have done a video on, so definitely check out that video, but also protecting my energy. And I feel like these go hand in hand. We have to first cleanse and then protect. And likely in times like these, we need to continue to do that regularly, at least once a day, maybe even more frequently. So definitely check out the cleansing video after this video. So we are energetic beings. We have a field, an electromagnetic field that courses through and around our body. I highly recommend you check out a torus field. Look for a GIF animation so you can see kind of how that energy flows through us. It is really important to understand because we are not just our physical bodies. We have emotional bodies, we have etheric bodies, we have energetic bodies, we have auras, sometimes similar but different. And there are up to 7, maybe even more, depending on what methodology you subscribe to, of the different types of bodies that we need to be aware of and maintaining. Just like we brush our teeth or we take showers, we need to take care of all of the different variations of our body and be aware of what they take on and what they need to release and how they release. Now, we have only been able to measure our electromagnetic field as going about 20 feet outside of our body. Now, of course, that is limited by the fact that the measuring device that they use could only measure up to 20 feet. So there really is no telling how far our field can go. And yet at the same time, we also have the ability to control that. We can contract it, we can expand it, and in some cases, in many cases, in a retracted state of being, we are still reaching about 6 feet outside of us, which I find ironic considering the 6-foot rule. That is a topic for another day. We're not going to go there. But for today, let's talk about, how many methods do I have for you here? Let's talk about the 8 different strategies or factors to consider, things you can use when it comes to protecting yourself. So, your words are number one, first and foremost, the most important. So when you say, I can't, you literally put up a brick wall. When you ask a question, how can I, you open yourself up to the possibility. So that right there is a good example of how we can stop and restrict, or how we can open up and allow. And depending on the situation that we are in, we want to choose our words wisely. Also look at the word spelling, right? We are casting spells over ourselves by the words we use. So when we use restrictive, limiting language, we are restricting and limiting on ourselves. When we use expansive words, or especially questions, we open ourselves up to the possibility. Another factor to consider is, in the beginning was the word, right? So it all started with a word. It was spoken into existence. That you look at everything as being frequency and vibration. Sound is the frequency and vibration. You look at the phrase Om, I don't know if you call it a phrase, the mantra Om is said to be the tone of creation. That it all started with the Om. Now, I don't know if anybody can prove that just yet, but we have our theories. Right? So my first and foremost favorite, my number one go-to form of protection is to declare. To declare, to be the decider, to be the authority in my life. I say, I am a child of God. You can say, I am a child of the one creator. You can say, I do not allow anyone or anything inside of my auric field unless they report to and are in service to the highest true light. We can say, I decide who enters my field. It is a privilege to be in my energy and to experience part of being in my realm. Therefore, it's between me and my creator, and we together create you could say a force field of protection, right? I have declared my home as a safe place. No entity will enter this home unless it is in service of my highest good, period. And that alone, taking your authority, taking your power back, declaring that to be true, you are a creator and you just created that safe place for you. Now, I'm kind of jumping ahead. We'll get to it in a minute, but I just really want to share with you, if in case you have a short attention span or you got to get going somewhere, this is my number one favorite. When things get really intense, when the spiritual warfare is at its highest, I put my feet on the ground, I put my eyes on God, and I declare, I am a child of the Most High, and you cannot touch me. And I feel that in my body, even as I say it now. Nothing has my permission, unless it is of my highest service, to come anywhere near me, my home, or my children, period. There are no questions, there are no doubts. I am in absolute certainty of my power and ability to claim that, because I am in connection to Source. And together, we are creating that protection. So, number one is words. Use your words wisely. Be firm. Be certain. Command your authority that you have been given. And I would say when I first started this work, this is one of the biggest insights that I was being asked to share was you are not just powerful, but you are the most powerful in your life, especially or most especially or only when you are in connection to your Creator. That we are to recognize the power and authority we have been given. That to grovel, to hope, to wish, to pray just gives our power away. And so recognize your power and authority when you are in connection and responding to and following the guidance of your Creator. Okay? Number two is your breath. Your breath has a tremendous ability to shift and change your state, your frequency, your vibration, to turn on and off your nervous system. If you are scared, you'll have a very shallow, quick breath. Think about if you're running from a predator versus when you are safe and you are calm and you know without a shadow of a doubt that you are protected. That slow, certain breath will command in its own right your authority. Remember that the breath of life courses through you. That the deeper we breathe, the more we breathe in, the more power and connection we create. Remembering too that a nervous system state of protection, fight, flight, fawn, freeze, is in resistance. It is rigid. It is fragile. What we resist persists. If we have those short, scared breaths, we put ourselves in that resistant state, which is going to create more of the thing that we fear. If we have calm, deep breath, we are commanding our authority, we are calming our nervous system, we are opening ourselves up in a positive way to the support that is available to us. We are in rest, digest, growth, and repair. We are in non-resistance. Therefore, we are fueling ourselves, not the thing that we are wanting to resist. Okay, number three is your imagination. So imagination can feel kind of tricky because we feel like, oh, I just created that myself. It's not really real. Well, it's real because you created it. So it's kind of this catch-22, chicken or the egg, right? You create with your imagination. We cannot create if we cannot imagine it. In using your imagination, we can expand our aura. We can move it in and out. We can practice playing with it. I especially like to do this when I go out into public, especially as a highly sensitive person, especially very empathic. If I'm in a grocery store that's really full on a Sunday afternoon, I kind of want to bring my aura in. I don't want to touch into every person I walk past. I want to be very careful about what comes into my being, because it's not just my physical being, it is my energetic being. I very often feel like I need to do a cleanse, take a shower, whatever, after I go to the grocery store, because it's all around us. And so we really have to be careful in how we protect ourselves as we move through large crowds of people. So using your imagination to imagine, using your imagination to imagine, you can use a bubble. People like to use the bubble around you, a clear bubble, a bubble of love. I find that if I use the imagery of a bubble and I'm imagining I'm pushing the bubble out, then to me I feel resistance against the thing that I want to protect against. And again, what you resist persists. What I prefer is that I'm sending out love, and it sounds similar, but it feels different, and that's where the nuance is I am not pushing against anything. I'm sending out love. I'm sharing love. And I like to imagine a big bubble of love emanating out of my heart in all directions. And what I find hilarious is that those who are really polarized to the dark don't want to be anywhere near the light. And so they don't want to be around that love. And anyone who does need more love is then given that love, although I have to be careful because sometimes that will attract in people who are in need of things, but that's again a conversation for another day. So use your imagination to either create that bubble of clear protection or pink love or white light, or you can use the purple flame even, whatever feels least resistant and most in alignment to you, wherever you feel most at ease. And again, notice that nervous system state. Are you in a fight, flight, fawn, freeze, resistant state, or are you in a relaxed, receiving, open, allowing the protection? And that there's a nuance there, right? We're not allowing this other darkness to come in. We are only allowing the support, allowing the love. So that's key there, right? Emanate out from your heart and share the love so that it touches all. Another technique can be the mirror technique. If you imagine a mirror in front of you, in between you and a person who is sending something your way that you do not desire, wish for, or accept to receive, then a mirror can be helpful. I often like to use that when I'm dealing with someone who I can't necessarily get away with, or get away from. Maybe it's a family member or something of that nature. And what you find is that it might be a little bit triggering for them because what they see is themselves, and it does sort of shine a light on the negative behavior, and that can be even more aggravating. Visualization techniques, like I said, it's very similar to imagination, but visualization can be more specific to those who have those types of clairs where you can literally see it. For some of us, we're just using our imagination and cannot physically see the image in our mind's eye. But if you have the ability to actually visualize, then that absolutely is tremendous and powerful. And the reason I separated this out as number 4 versus number 3, imagination, is that the brain has to match in chemistry the images we give it. So whether or not you physically see the thing or you are just working towards imagining and visualizing it, for many of us that can feel different, right? I'm a feeler, so I'm going to feel it, I'm going to know it, I'm going to sense it. But when we give the brain whatever type of imagery we tend to work with, the brain has to match that in chemistry. And so the reason that matters is if your brain is flooding the body with stress hormones, then you're going to feel in that fight or flight resistant state. You're going to emanate fear and vibrate it at a lower frequency that's going to draw to you more of what you don't want. So remember, sort of the cycle of manifestation is 1, our beliefs, 2, the thoughts we choose, 3, the chemistry that's created from that, 4, the emotions that come from that place, that is your energy and motion, that is your frequency, your vibration, your attraction point. Okay, number 5 is grounding. Again, I mentioned it earlier, but putting our feet on the ground is critically important, especially when it gets hairy. We need to put our feet on the ground. Mother Earth was designed to support us. We were designed to take care of her. It's a reciprocating energy, reciprocating relationship. She will strengthen you. She is your mother. She will assist you in holding the electromagnetic state that is necessary to claim your authority and power. So put your feet on the ground as often as you can. And I understand that many of us prefer the easier way out of sending roots into the ground from wherever you are, and of course that works if you can't put your feet on the ground, but I cannot assure you enough that physical feet on the ground, there's nothing that compares. And I will also tell you this, even if it's cold, your feet will not be cold. Mother Earth will keep you relatively warm, and I've done it in 20-30 degree weather, and I couldn't believe my toes were not freezing. And I live in the Midwest in Wisconsin, so it's plenty cold. I can assure you I've played with this. So yes, put your feet on the ground, put your roots into the ground, spend time in nature, forest baths, all of that will be strengthening to you and also cleansing for you as well. I did include number 6 as cleansing because we are weakened when we are not emptying out all of our bodies. So again, if you don't understand the physical bodies versus the emotional body versus the spiritual body versus the etheric body, you've got to dig into that. I've not done a video on that yet. That's part of my course, so more on that later. But if you want to check out the cleansing video, that can be very helpful. Now, I'm hearing some news around salt baths that Epsom salt is not particularly helpful. In fact, that what was claimed, and again, I have not been able to verify this source, but what was claimed was that Epsom salt will draw in the toxins. And so something about that resonates as true for me. I'm going to share it here. Do your own research. Don't shoot the messenger. But if you have pink Himalayan salt, that salt will absorb the toxins and pull it away from you instead of into you. Again, I mentioned forest baths, grounding, showers. Check out the cleansing video because that is my favorite routine, is the showers combined with mantras and commands. And that feels tremendously powerful in the cleansing realm. Yes, number 7, my favorite technique is angels. Call in the angels. My go-tos are Raphael, Michael, Uriel, Jophiel, Sandalphon, and then of course the Christed energy as well as the Holy Spirit. So call on whoever resonates with you. Ask who's there and available to you. They will give you names and work with them. Learn to work with them. I also have my personal team. I asked what their names were and they told me the Daniels. So, and I got the sense that there was more than one, and it's really, really cool how the name Daniels shows up in my life. So it's a lot of fun. So play with them. They love you. They love you, love you, love you so, so much. And they want to be part of your support team. So call on them. And I absolutely love talking about them. We could spend time here all day, but yes, we must move on. And then number 8, last but certainly not least, the most important, again, I mentioned it in the first one as well, but always being connected. Connect to the divine. I don't care if you call it God, source, divine, universe, creator, Allah, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you have one creator. There is one highest level of consciousness, the field of full potentiality. There's so many names. And it really doesn't matter, because a rose by any other name still smells as sweet. But when you connect to it, you know. He, she, it, they, them love you deeply and want to support you. So as long as you are following your guidance, you're connecting regularly, and I mean in the micro moments of life, not just a meditation in the morning or the evening, but I mean every day, all day long. Where am I going? What am I doing? What am I going to say? What am I going to wear? What am I going to eat? Always be connected. Stay in line with your calling, your purpose, your path, your guidance, and you will be fine. You will be cared for. If you make a commitment to being connected and to following what is made for you, then you will be supported fully. Fill your airways with uplifting, positive music, mantras, affirmations. We've got to be really aware of what we are programming ourselves with. We are like sponges. We are absorbing things all the time. Our brains are programmable, and what we put in becomes our program. So get really, really diligent about what is allowed into your field, because it does get in you, and you must cleanse and you must protect once that has happened. Okay, keep your eyes on God, right? Keep your eyes on the divine at all times. Where your focus goes, grows. And again, that's happening in the micro moments of your day. Drop into that field of consciousness, right? It feels like literally sitting back into and calming the nervous system and tapping, plugging back into that field of consciousness that loves you so deeply. Feel and sense that support around you, and have a conversation every day, all day long, as if it was your best friend, because it is. All right, I love you guys. I will see you on the next video. Please do make sure you like, subscribe, and share. If you have not yet, please click this button here. Otherwise, this video is curated just for you. All right, take care, my friends. Namaste.